Hello students, in this lecture we will learn about import quotas, its effects on the market and some other trade restrictions. So what is an import quota? It is a restriction that limits the maximum quantity of a good that may be imported in a given period. Most countries impose import quotas on a wide range of items. The United States imposes them on food products such as sugar and bananas, and manufactured goods such as textiles and papers. Import quotas enable the government to satisfy the self-interest of the people who earn their incomes in the import competing industries. So basically, it satisfies the self-interest of the people who produces the imported goods in the home country. Okay. So it helps them because now the competition is lesser once the import quotas are in action. But you will discover that like a tariff, an import quota decreases the gains from trade and it is not in the social interest. So although it satisfied self-interest of some people, it is not of social interest because it decreases the gains from trade. The effects of an import quota are similar to those of a tariff. Let's look into a graph. Here, again, we are talking about the US market of t-shirts. So in the first graph, we see a scenario when there is free trade or when there is no trade restriction. So we already know that when there is no trade restrictions, the market follows the world price. So the world price is at $5 per t-shirt, and at this price, the quantity supplied is 20 millions of t-shirts, and quantity demanded is 60 millions of t-shirts. And we can see that there is excess demand for t-shirts compared to the quantity supplied. So this excess amount of t-shirts are imported. Okay. And now let's look at the next figure. Here we have import quotas. Okay, so the US decides to impose an import quota of suppose 10 million t-shirts per year to protect the t-shirt producers in the home country. Okay, so the US supply curve of t-shirt becomes the domestic supply curve plus the quantity that the import quota permits. So here we have a new supply curve, which is the combination of the old supply curve and the quota limit. Okay, so if so, this was the quantity supplied at when there was no restriction. So we add the quota amount here, and then we draw a new supply curve. Okay. So when the quota is implemented, what happens in the market? So now, although there is a lot of demand of t-shirts, but now there is less imported t-shirts available in the market. So what happens is it increases the price of t-shirts, and which encourages more quantity supplied in the home country. So it encourages the domestic producers to produce more t-shirts since because of the import quota, the price has raised. So suppose the new price is $7, and at this $7, the quantity supplied is now 35 million t-shirts per year, and the quantity demanded is 45 millions of t-shirts per year, and we can see that only 10 millions of t-shirts is being imported because of the import quota that has been implemented by the US. Okay, so now let's look at the gains and losses from quota. Okay, so in the first graph we have free trade. So we can see a huge consumer surplus here. The area under the demand curve and over the price is the consumer surplus, and we can see a big consumer surplus over here. And we can see a small blue triangle here, which is the producer surplus. It's just the area above the supply curve and below the price. Okay, so if there was no trade, then it would have, this one would have been, then we would have lost this gain from free trade. Okay, so now that we have free trade, we can gain this extra amount of consumer surplus, okay, because of the free trade. Now let's look at the market of t-shirts with import quota. So when there is import quota, the new price is $7 per t-shirt. So let's find out the consumer surplus. It's just over the price and below the demand curve. So it's this green area. So we can see that the consumer surplus has shrunk, right? And some of the surplus has been transferred to the producers because of the increased price. So let's find out the producer surplus. We will find the producer surplus below the price and over the supply curve. Okay, so this is our producer surplus. Okay, this A plus B. And what is this area D? This is the importer's profit, because the importers are buying, were earlier selling the same t-shirts at $5, but now because of the import quota, the new price is $7, and now they can sell those same t-shirts at $7. So now they're earning this extra profit, which is the area D. And C and E, they are the deadweight losses. Okay, C comes from the increased opportunity cost because of the increased price. Now the more producers are producing these t-shirts who have more production cost. So the opportunity cost of producing has increased. So this is causing a deadweight loss, which is equal to the area C. And E is the area of another deadweight loss, because now, because of the increased price, less t-shirts are being bought in the market. So this is another part of the surplus that is being lost from the trade restriction, which in this case is the quota. C and E is our deadweight loss. This is our loss because of quota. So this deadweight loss is caused from quota. That is how social interest is lost because of quota. So we see that before the import quota, when there was free trade, the imports were 60 minus 20 or 40 units and 40 millions of t-shirts per year. But after the import quota has been imposed, now the imports after with quota is only 45 minus 30, which is this 10 millions of t-shirts per year. And if we had to calculate the change in imports after the implementation of quota, we could just calculate it in the conventional way. So just we subtract before quota imports from after quota imports and divide it with before quota imports, and multiply it with 100, and we get the percentage change in imports after applying the quota. Other import barriers such as health, safety, and regulation barriers. Thousands of detailed health, safety, and other regulations also restrict international trade. For example, US food imports are examined by the Food and Drug Administration to determine whether the food is pure, wholesome, safe to eat, and produced under sanitary conditions. The discovery of BSE, or the mad cow disease, in just one US cow in 2003 was enough to close down the international trade in US beef. Although regulations of this type we have just described are not designed to limit international trade, but they have the effect. Okay, so these restrictions are in action to ensure the health and safety for the consumers. But if the imported goods do not meet these standards, they are not imported anymore. So there is an effect on the international trade because of these regulations. And then there is voluntary export restraints. What is voluntary export restraint? It is like a quota allocated to a foreign exporter of a good. This type of trade barrier is not common. It was initially used during the 1980s when Japan voluntarily limited its exports of car parts to the United States. Lastly, there is export subsidy, which is another kind of trade restriction. An export subsidy is a payment by the government to the producer of an exported good. Export subsidies are illegal under a number of international agreements, including North American Free Trade Agreement or NAFTA, and the rules of World Trade Organization. So it is completely illegal. Although export subsidies are illegal, the subsidies that the US and European Union governments pay to the farmers end up increasing domestic production, and some of which gets exported. So, although it is illegal, when the farmers are provided with subsidies, they end up having increased domestic production, and these increased domestic production from this extra production, some of it also gets imported. These exports of subsidized farm products make it harder for producers in other countries, notably in Africa and Central and South America, to compete in global market. Export subsidies bring gains to the domestic producers, but they result in inefficient underproduction in the rest of the world and create a deadweight loss. That is why it is illegal. It is announced illegal by the NAFTA and World Trade Organization. So that's all from this lecture. Thank you.